Welcome, I'm Story Spectre. Tonight I invite you to let go of the day and drift slowly into rest. This is your time, a time for calm, a time for quiet. Take a slow breath in, hold it gently and let it out again. Breathe in and breathe out. Each breath makes your body heavy, softer, more at ease. Feel your shoulders sink. Feel your arms resting deeper. Feel your legs grow heavy against the bed. There is nothing you must do, nowhere you must go, nothing you must achieve. Only stillness, only rest. If thoughts appear, that is fine. Let them drift away like clouds moving across the sky. And now, as you feel the quiet surrounding you, I will begin tonight's story. Winter did not arrive all at once in the Viking village. It never came like a storm, never rushed in with sudden force. Instead, it crept slowly, day by day, almost unnoticed at first. The mornings grew a little colder. The sun rose late, and when it did, its light was pale, as though tired. The grass, once soft and green, turned stiff with frost. The farmer noticed these changes, but he did not think of them as remarkable. They were the ordinary signs that another season had begun, the same as last year, the same as the year before. Each morning, the Viking farmer woke at the same time, not early like a warrior preparing for battle, and not late like a lord in a great hall. He rose just as the faint light touched the edges of the wooden shutters. His bed was simple, a frame of wood filled with straw, covered with a thick wool blanket. He pushed the blanket aside slowly, as though there was no hurry. He rubbed his eyes, he yawned, and he sat quietly for a moment. His wife still lay beside him, her breathing slow and steady, her face half hidden under another blanket. The farmer listened to the silence of the house. The fire in the hearth had burned low in the night. Only faint embers glowed, and he could hear the soft crackle of wood that was almost gone. He stood, pulled on his wool tunic, and crossed the floor with heavy steps. His breath misted in the cold air. In the corner of the room, a stack of firewood waited. The farmer bent down, picked up a few pieces, and carried them carefully to the hearth. One by one, he laid the logs on the glowing embers. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the flames returned, licking gently at the wood. The farmer crouched and watched. He did not blow on the fire. He did not rush. He simply waited until the flames grew strong enough to warm the room again. When the fire was ready, he nodded to himself and whispered, almost without sound, "Yes, this will do." Breakfast followed. It was always the same. In winter, a piece of bread from the last baking, a thin slice of cheese, hard from storage, and sometimes, if fortune was kind, a small dried fish. The farmer ate slowly, chewing without hurry. He looked out the window, where the first snow had begun to cover the ground. The snow did not fall in storms. It came gently, like dust floating in the air, landing softly on the thatched roofs, the fences, and the frozen earth. After breakfast, He stepped outside. The air was sharp but calm. His boots sank slightly into the thin snow, leaving quiet prints behind. The village was silent, almost as if the world itself had decided to rest. Smoke drifted lazily from the chimneys of the other houses. A dog barked once, then went quiet again. The farmer walked to the small pen where his sheep were gathered. They stood close together, their wool thick against the cold. He counted them, not once, but twice. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep. His lips moved silently as he continued. Sometimes he reached 20, sometimes he lost his place and began again. The counting was never exact, but it was never important. The act itself, the slow rhythm of numbers, was enough to calm his mind. When the counting was done, he leaned on the wooden fence and watched the sheep chew at the hay he had placed there the night before. Their breaths formed little clouds, rising into the cold air. The farmer said nothing. He simply looked and then nodded and thought again, yes, this is fine. The day continued slowly. There was little work to be done in the fields, for they were covered in frost. The farmer carried water from the well, though the bucket was never heavy. He repaired a small crack in the fence, though it was not urgent. He brushed snow from the roof of his shed, though there was not much of it. Each task was small, quiet, and ordinary. At midday, he returned inside. The fire still burned. The house still smelled faintly of wood smoke. His wife was preparing stew from dried peas and a little salted meat. The pot bubbled softly, filling the house with a warm, plain scent. They ate without much talk, and when the meal was finished, the farmer sat by the fire, his hands resting on his knees. He looked at the flames. He did not think of battles. He did not think of raids. He thought of nothing in particular. Outside, the snow continued to fall, thin and steady. The village remained quiet. No one hurried, for there was nowhere to hurry to. Winter was a season of waiting, of steady days, and the farmer accepted this with ease. When the evening came, he stepped outside once more. The sky was dark now, but not black. The snow reflected a pale light, soft and gentle. He walked slowly to the pen, checked the sheep again, and stood there for a while. The silence was deep, broken only by the occasional creak of wood or the faint rustle of wind. The farmer returned to his house, closed the door, and sat by the fire again. His children had already grown quiet, lying on their straw beds. His wife mended a piece of clothing with steady hands. The fire crackled. The farmer breathed in slowly and breathed out. There was nothing remarkable about this day, nothing grand, nothing bold, nothing worth writing in the sagas, but it was enough. It was steady, it was calm, and as the farmer pulled the blanket over himself that night, his last thought was the same, as always. Yes, yeah, this will do. The Viking winter was not only cold, it was also long. The days were short, the nights stretched endlessly, and yet nothing surprising ever happened in them. The farmer rose as always just when the pale light touched the shutters, but in winter that light came late, and it disappeared again far too quickly. By the time he had eaten his bread and cheese, by the time he had carried water or checked the sheep, the sky was already turning grey again, ready to sink into night. There was no rushing, there was no despair, this was simply the way of things. Inside the long house, the fire became the heart of every day. Without it, the air grew bitter, the frost creeping along the walls. With it, the air was warm enough, steady enough, calm enough to live. The farmer cut wood in the morning, split it carefully, and stacked it in neat piles by the door. He did not count how many logs there were. He only made sure that each piece was straight enough, dry enough, ready enough. When the fire burned, the family sat close. The flames flickered, but they never danced wildly. They rose and fell in small rhythms like the breath of the house itself. The children played quietly with carved wooden figures, small shapes of animals, of boats, of people. They did not shout, they did not run, they only moved the figures slowly along the floor, speaking in whispers, their voices blending with the crackle of the fire. The farmer's wife spun wool. Her spindle turned in circles, never fast, never clumsy. The thread grew longer, winding slowly, evenly around her hand. She did not sigh, she did not complain. She simply spun, hour after hour, as the sound of the spindle filled the silence. The farmer himself sat with the records of his household, a list of food stores, a tally of sheep, notes of what had been traded at the last market. Nothing grand, nothing dramatic, just numbers scratched into wood and parchment. He read them slowly, his lips moving without sound. He nodded sometimes, though there was never much to nod at. In the evenings, the stew pot hung again above the fire. Peas and beans, sometimes cabbage, sometimes a scrap of salted meat. The smell was always the same, filling the house in the same way. They ate in silence, chewing steadily, each mouthful tasting like the one before. The farmer drank water. On rare nights he drank a little ale, but never enough to change his voice, never enough to change his pace. After supper, the quiet deepened. Outside, the wind moved across the frozen fields, but inside, there was only stillness. The farmer sometimes listened for the sound of wolves, but there were none nearby. He sometimes listened for travelers, but no one came in winter. He heard only the soft shift of the sheep in their pen, the rustle of the straw roof, and the fire's patient crackle. The hours of night were long. To pass them, the farmer told his children small tales, not sagas of heroes, not stories of gods, just plain tales. A story of a man who planted barley and harvested it, a story of a woman who lost a shoe and found it again, a story of a cow that wandered too far and was brought back the next day. The children listened, their eyes half closed, not from excitement, but from the slow, steady rhythm of their father's voice. When the tales ended, the house fell silent again. The children lay under their wool blankets. The wife set the spindle aside. The farmer leaned back, his eyes fixed on the fire, watching the flames shrink lower. Sometimes he added another log, sometimes he did not. Sometimes he said softly, "Yes, that is fine." The night stretched on, but there was no hurry to reach the morning. In winter there was no difference between the hours, no sharp change from one to another. The dark was the same from evening to midnight, from midnight to dawn. The farmer slept easily. His dreams were quiet, and most of the time he could not remember them. When he woke, the same tasks waited, the same fire, the same bread, the same sheep. One night a heavy snow began to fall. The sound of it against the roof was soft, almost like a whisper. The farmer woke briefly, listened to it, and closed his eyes again. There was no alarm. Snow was ordinary, snow was expected, snow was fine. And so the long nights passed, one after another, without change, without surprise. They folded into one another like pages of a blank book, each one the same as the last. And the farmer, steady and calm, lived them all the same way. The Viking winter did not end suddenly. There was no great day when the frost broke, no thunderous moment when the snow was gone. It ended slowly, as if winter itself was reluctant to leave. The farmer noticed first that the mornings grew a little lighter. Not much, just a shade. The darkness that once lingered seemed thinner, as if the night itself was fading. He still rose at the same time. He still stretched, sighed, and ate his bread. But now, through the cracks in the shutters, a paler light entered. He looked at it for a moment, nodded, and said softly, "Yes, that is fine." The snow melted in the same way it had fallen, slowly, evenly, without drama. At first the roof dripped, then the ground grew soft. Patches of brown earth showed through, never wide, never sudden. One patch today, another tomorrow. The farmer walked the same path along the wall, watching the sheep. Their wool was heavy now, and soon it would be shorn, but not yet, for now they grazed on what little grass pushed through the earth. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep. The farmer counted as always and lost his place as always. He began again. Inside the longhouse life remained steady. The fire still burned, the wife still spun, the children still played with the same carved figures, their hands tracing the same marks into the floorboards. Yet sometimes a breeze slipped through the door. It was not sharp with frost anymore. It was softer, though only by a little. The farmer noticed and said quietly, "Yes, that is fine." The stew tasted almost the same. Beans and peas, cabbage, bread. But now sometimes there were green shoots, tender and mild, added to the pot. The taste was not rich, not new, only a little different. The farmer chewed slowly, nodded once and said, "Yes, that will do." The days grew longer, but they did not rush. The sun rose a little earlier, set a little later. No one celebrated, no one marked the time. The people simply noticed. The shadows on the walls shifted slightly. The children played a little longer before bed. The firewood piles grew smaller because less was needed. The farmer repaired his tools. He mended a fence. He walked through the garden, though nothing had yet grown. He touched the soil, cool and damp in his hands, and he did not smile or frown. He only said, "Yes, that is fine." The rivers, once frozen, began to move again. At first only in small trickles beneath the ice. Then the surface cracked slowly in thin lines. The farmer watched it leaning on the wall, listening to the sound. It was not loud, not fast, just steady water flowing quietly. He nodded. "Yes, that is fine." The sheep lost their heavy coats. Their wool was gathered, spun again, added to the piles that had never run out. The fields were ploughed. The soil turned dark, but no seeds yet sprouted. The sky was often grey, but sometimes a bird called, its voice faint, carried across the open air. The farmer listened and said, "Yes, that is fine." Spring did not rush. It did not surprise. It unfolded as steadily as the winter had lasted. The farmer grew older with each year, his beard whiter, his steps slower, but his days remained the same. He woke when the light came. He ate the same bread. He walked the same path. He counted the same sheep. He sat by the same fire. He ended each day with the same quiet thought that it was enough, that it was fine. The people around him lived much the same. They did not speak of glory or greatness or conquest. They worked, they ate, they rested, they slept. Year after year the winters and springs turned, each one folding into the next, none of them remarkable, all of them steady. And so the farmer's life passed, one ordinary day after another, through ordinary seasons, in an ordinary village that history soon forgot. But perhaps, as you lie here now, his story has done its work. Perhaps the calm rhythm of his days has slowed your own. Perhaps you too can feel the weight of your eyelids, the softness of your breath, the peace of a life without rush, without noise, without demand. So let the memory of the farmer drift away, like snow melting into the earth, like smoke rising from the fire. Let it fade until only calm remains. Rest now, sleep deeply, and may your dreams be as quiet, as steady, and as ordinary as the very ordinary Viking winter. Good night.